So we're very glad to be here with Winni Verhoef, who is the Senior Product Manager for Windows Vista MDOP. And Winni is actually a friend of us, and he didn't know he had the interview with us until he got into this room. So,
well, for you guys, right? So, but otherwise, what I'm doing is I'm telling people about the new stuff that is coming up for Microsoft Application Virtualization.
Hold on, Application Virtualization, what's that?
Well, you may otherwise know it as SoftGrid, but it has always been Microsoft SoftGrid Application Virtualization, right?
So you're confusing us. It used to be SoftGrid. We know SoftGrid.
SoftGrid, yeah.
So why you changed it to Microsoft Application Virtualization?
Yeah, well, it seems a little indecisive to keep two names there. The other reason was that we checked it with customers, we had some polls done, and the Microsoft SoftGrid Application Virtualization actually seemed a little confusing because people thought it was about grid computing. And of course there is a link between virtualization and grid computing maybe, but still this is more about application virtualization. So we wanted a descriptive name, and it's the Microsoft version, so this is the first release of Microsoft within Microsoft. So Microsoft Application Virtualization, that's going to be.
Okay, so you changed names, is that it?
No, of course not. No,
okay.
We got a lot more going on.
Okay,
yeah.
so what else you got?
Team worked really hard, and I'm really proud to say that in a very short amount of time, we listened very careful to what customers were asking us. And they loved SoftGrid, right? So all the customers love SoftGrid, but when they started working with it, they ran into a couple of issues. First of all, we only had an English version. So we'll release the localized versions of SoftGrid in about 10 languages or so, more or less, give or take. And the other thing is the globalization, which is probably even more important, because now you can run an English version of SoftGrid on another language operating system. And basically saying, just making it work, right, for everybody. So that's the localization and globalization part. Then the other part is security. So we always have a lot of security initiatives at Microsoft, as you well know. We had Trustworthy computing, we had the secure by default, and all those policies, all those introductions were actually policies that the developers have to work on when they start building the software. So now, the common engineering criteria, all that, we've taken care of that, and SoftGrid, I wanted to say SoftGrid, Microsoft Application Virtualization is now ready for prime time if it comes to that. It's really a secure solution. So whereas before we would tell customers, don't go do this as a streaming service over the internet, now we can actually tell them that they can do that. It's ready for that. And the third announcement that we're making is the dynamic suiting. So customers love SoftGrid, but they often have a situation where they have an end user application and a middleware application, right? They have a database or a driver that belongs to the application, or a very common scenario is the GRE, right? The Java Runtime Environment. So up until now, when they had that situation, we would tell customers, you should suite them together, which is great. It's a great solution. You suite them together, you have a dynamic stream of both applications in there. But if you have the GRE running in multiple applications and there is an upgrade, you have to do it multiple times, which was very confusing, and you can kind of lose the effect of the benefit of using application virtualization. So now we have dynamic suiting. So you can have one GRE, you virtualize that, and you dynamically say this application is using this application as well. So again, it can be a database, a driver, or a GRE, or whatever, what have you. Yeah. So now you can have one or multiple relations, and when you have to upgrade or patch that application,
it's only once.
It's only once, exactly.
Got it.
That's it. Yeah. And that was just the beginning, because then on top of that, SoftGrid, as it exists today, has always been a very scalable situation, it's a scalable solution, but it always scales up. So you had a great solution for load balancing, and you could scale up very well. So it didn't matter whether you had 1,000 or 10,000 users or 100,000 users, you could scale up well, right? But if you had a more dynamic environment where you had branch offices or remote users or users in remote locations, it was somewhat of a different story. We didn't really have a way to address that. So now we have different ways. We have the full infra, which was always there, which is a skill-up solution. Now we also have the light infra, as we call it, the light infrastructure. It's a streaming server that doesn't require a SQL server or even an Active Directory server there.
Okay.
You can run it on the brand office as well.
You got it.
There you go.
So
Okay.
that's what we got there. And then the third solution in that extended scalability story is that we can create the packaging, but then at the end of it, you use the sequencing server to build an MSI, right?
Okay.
Yeah, now you have an MSI. You can use any software distribution mechanism,
That's good.
just roll that out and get it to the users if that's the method that you prefer.
Yeah.
Or, and that's what this is going to be used for, this is a
It's like
standalone
streaming.
solution.
Yeah.
Okay, so you put it on a hard drive, you put it on a USB, and you just bring it to the computer that's standing in a factory there, all by itself, not connected to the network, anything, but you still want to have streaming capabilities, right? You still want to have the virtual application there. So you just bring it there, install it from the MSI, and you're done, right?
Wow.
The only thing is though, it's a standalone solution only, so it doesn't use the configuration manager, it doesn't reconnect to the SoftGrid server, right? So that's what's going to be in Microsoft Application Virtualization 4.5. And it will be released sometime next summer or international customers.
4.5?
Yeah, 4.5.
Yeah, and
currently it's 4.2.
Okay, and that's available today?
That's available today.
How can people get it?
So the new version will be available next summer or Q3 of calendar year 2008. If you want to have it now, if you want to test out the beta, you just go to connect.microsoft.com and you
can sign up there.
You can sign up
sign
there.
up there, and your team will take care of that.
And you have to look for Microsoft Application Virtualization.
Yeah, not for SoftGrid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank
Well,
you so much.
Okay. Thanks, Winnie.
Right.
Good overview. Thanks.
Let's go
Great
for
being
beer.
here, man.
Let's go for
All
a
right.
beer.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks.